Go Realty. This morning I wanted to talk with you about the difference between a home inspection and an appraisal. I know these terms can be used interchangeably when talking about real estate, but it's really important to understand the difference. So when you go under contract, you typically have a due diligence period or a right to inspect period. And during that time frame, you're going to want to have a home inspection done. And this is something that's done independently from your broker or from your mortgage company. This is, you would hire a home inspector to go out and inspect the home. They look at the systems, they look at the roof, they look at they check to make sure all the outlets are working, and just kind of give an overall review of the home. And during that time, if there are issues that you're concerned about, you can certainly try to negotiate with the seller to have those items repaired. A home appraisal is something that's ordered by your lender. A lender needs to know that they are lending money and the value of the home supports the sales price. So they're not going to lend you more money than the home is worth. So they use appraisal management companies and they place an order for an appraisal, and then the appraisal management company assigns the appraiser the property, and the appraiser goes out and does a review of the home. And then what they do is they pull comparable sales in the area. They make adjustments to kind of figure out the true value of the home. Now let me make one little caveat to that. When you are getting an FHA or a VA or USDA loan, any loan that's guaranteed by a government entity, the condition of the home is also factored into that appraisal. So appraisers are going to look at safety, structure, and systems. They're going to make sure the air conditioning works, the heater works, the appliances work, that the roof doesn't have shingles falling off of it, siding off the side. Windows are a big thing too. They're going to make sure that windows operate properly, and if there's any flaking paint, they may call that out. So those are some things, broken glass, broken windows, things like that. So those are some things that an appraiser may look at and may make it a condition of the appraisal that those items are repaired when determining the value of the home. The lender is responsible for ordering the home appraisal. Now that is part of your closing costs. So when you first get your loan estimate, that should be included in the estimate of your closing costs, but you typically have to pay that fee up front. The appraisal is then done and sent back to the lender, and if there's any discrepancy in the value versus the sales price, then you would try to negotiate with the seller to reduce the sales price to the appraised value. This crazy seller's market, we are seeing that more and more buyers, if for whatever reason the value falls short of the sales price, the buyers are making up the difference with their own cash. So that's something to consider when you're making offers over list price. Do you have the money to come to the table if the property doesn't appraise and the seller doesn't reduce the sales price? Because that's something you need to think about, and your realtor will explain all of that to you. So that's the main difference between a home inspection and a home appraisal. The inspection is the inspector's hired by you independently. They go out and check the structure, the systems, the safety of the home. With an appraisal, they go out and verify that the value is there. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to give Angela or I a call. We'll answer questions about the difference between a home appraisal and a home inspection, and when those come into play in the whole real estate transaction. Have a great day. Don't forget to check us out at www.simplysouthernrealestate.com.